And then they had the one pilot with 1,000 hours, the other with 500 hours. One of the families is saying we don't want the name of our family member identified. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't want to answer that question because that to me, it's not my area of expertise. I think that the topic that interests me is, can you blame the Biden administration and can you be suspicious about the competency of the FAA? And I say you can blame the Biden administration and you can be suspicious because who brought the suspicion on? Well, the Democratic Party covered up an incapacitated president. That is the most important office in the land, and it was deliberately compromised. So why shouldn't you wonder about every single institution underneath that? If they were that cavalier about the president of the United States, we should be worried. I said this before. There is a crisis of competence, and we saw it in that debate. We had also a guy in charge in nuclear safety who was a kleptomaniac fetishist. There was no one at the wheel. So this goes back to why is Trump succeeding? Because he's establishing order among disorder, whether it is crime, immigration, foreign policy. And that appeal to order comes from this overwhelming sense of chaos, which comes from the top down. The hood ornament of chaos was the president of the United States. He reflected the incoherence and the confusion and the absence of leadership that spread out throughout the entire governmental system. Trump is the realignment. And he's doing it through a very simple prism. America first, driven by common sense. It could be applied to every segment of the government and almost every segment of society, especially when there's a segment that feels that it might be in disarray and you see this accident, you wonder, how does that happen? How does somebody leave early? Was somebody inexperienced? You have every right to be suspicious because it may be connected to the overarching crisis of competence. It's a crisis of competence. It causes a lack of confidence. And the solution that Trump is offering, it may not be right in this case. It may not be DEI. But you sure as hell can ask that question because it seems to us that every institution has been degraded in the last, 4 years. You can go back even further. When Trump came in, he didn't know what he got. He didn't know what he got. You can go, oh, but this was under him. He didn't have a clue. The government was already screwed. We were screwed. Now he's doing the unscrewing.